using the Scarecrow kit, that pumpkin, ribbon rail, and some ribbons and mesh. This is very easy to do, and we're going to give you the supplies. All the supplies came from Trendy Tree. We'll give you a supply list and instructions on how to do it. Okay, let's get started. This is a burlap straight ribbon rail that we're going to use for the base of our centerpiece, and you could use most any color. We're going to use a 10-inch wide mesh, and this has a poly base with a jute thread. It's a combination of natural and blue. We're going to cut this mesh into 10-inch lengths. We're going to use the ruffle technique for this wreath, so for the centerpiece. So we're going to take our mesh and lay it down where we have the selvage or the uncut edges to the outside. Go right up through the center of that mesh and just scrunch it up, gathering where it looks like a little bow tie. Now we're going to do 3 of these. I'm just going to go ahead and secure one into a twist just to hold it while I make my other 2. Now you want to secure your ruffle in the twist to where it's still curled under. So you want to open your twist, and you want to have 3 layers of ruffles in each twist. Now I'm only going to secure the twist a couple of times for now, because we may go back in and add in some ribbon strips, but we're going to add those 3 ruffles and go around the entire ribbon rail with 3 ruffles in each twist. Now we've gone all the way around our ribbon rail with 3 layers of ruffles in each twist. Now this next step is optional, but if you like, you can spray the cut edges of your ruffles with this Elmer's Craft Bond spray adhesive, and it will help reduce the raveling. Of course, if you're using this as a centerpiece, it's not going to get much exposure to the wind or anything, so you really shouldn't have, too much trouble once you clip your strings. And also, you'll notice that your twists, they're evenly spaced, pretty evenly spaced, with about 4 inches between them. But you'll notice that you have one on the corner, and then you don't have one on the opposite corner. And if you want to even your wreath out more, or even your mesh out more, you can always just do a cluster of 3 ruffles and just use a chenille stem and attach in these corners. I'm going to leave it just like this. Now, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to kind of bend the ribbon rail. I want it to be humped up in the middle a little bit, so I'm just going to bend that. But I want one end of it to kind of be pointing up, because I'm going to position the Scarecrow on his tummy, and then on this end I want it positioned up a little bit. And of course this can be done after you finish also, but just to make it stand up a little bit more in the middle. Our Scarecrow pieces, this kit comes in a set of 5 pieces. It has the head, the legs, and the arms. All the pieces are wired so that you can shape them, and they have a wire where you can attach the pieces to the frame using the wire. Now the wires will pull almost out, so you just have to kind of poke them back in there to get them the way that you want them to be. But the first thing we're going to do is just go ahead and position our Scarecrow onto the wreath, onto the ribbon frame. And I'm just going to kind of just kind of practice with him right now about where I want him, and then we'll secure him a little bit later. And I'm just going to practice with my placement right now. Now we're going to use this paper pumpkin. This is a product that was left over from last year, so we don't have a lot left. So these will be gone pretty soon after the tutorial goes out, I'm sure. But you can always just leave it off or put a big bow here or a sign or anything like that. But we're going to kind of use that pumpkin for like the behind of the scarecrow. So we're going to put that pumpkin on there, and then we're going to kind of fix his legs to where he's kind of, well, we'll bend them when we get through, but we're going to put his legs kind of kicked up a little bit. The pumpkin has a burlap string, and I'm going to secure that to the wreath frame using the strings. I'm going to take the arms and just wire them together a little bit with the wires that are attached so that I can attach those as like both at the same time. Just going to work that down. I may have to use a chenille stem since I've used my wires to wire them together. I'll use a chenille stem to attach the arms to the work wreath, to the ribbon rail frame. I'm going to attach the arms right at the last piece of the ribbon rail, and I can just use those wires that's on the arms. That'll work okay. Just push your ruffles out of the way. Okay, and we can shape those arms when we get done. And we're going to take the head, it has 3 wires on it, and just attach that to the frame also. Okay. Next we're going to attach our legs, and I think to attach them, I'm going to kind of take those wires and twist them together first and put them both on at the same time. And I'm going to attach them at that third, about that third from the end straight piece. I believe that'll be about right. So I'm just going to poke them through and reach from the back and just wrap that wire around the ribbon rail. Now what I had thought was we'd like kick one of the legs up like that maybe, or both of them. There we go, something like that. I think it's going to be cute. Okay? Next we're going to add in some ribbons. I have several different ribbons picked out to use on this wreath, and of course you can use any combination of fall ribbons that you like, but the first thing we're going to do is make a couple of maybe 3 or 4 little small loopy bows, and this is a very good way to use up your scrap ribbon. But we're going to cut pieces of ribbon about 24 inches in length first, and we'll just cut up I think we'll make it at least 4 bows, so I'll need at least 4 or 5 pieces of each ribbon that I'm going to use. I have 5 different ribbons. Some of it is 2.5 inches wide and some of it is 1.5. But the next step that I need to do is chevron the ends of my ribbon. And the way to do that is take your ribbon, fold it in half, and then fold again lengthwise. Cut on the folded edge away from you, and that way you have a chevron cut on each end of your ribbon. So I'll cut all of my ribbons, chevron the ends of my ribbons, and then we'll be ready to make our bow. For this next step, you'll need some chenille stems. Now I'm just going to take, I'm going to start with, well, it doesn't matter which bow you start with, but I'm going to fold the ribbon in half, and I'm going to make a loop on one end of about 4.5 or 5 inches. This is about 5 inches. And just pinch it together and hold it. Okay, and then I'm going to take a ribbon, another style of ribbon, maybe a different width, fold it in half, and I'm going to keep my, I want to keep my loops all the same length. Now, your tails don't have to be all the same length. You can stagger those if you want, but you do want to keep your loops the same length. Just keep making loops and let your tails hang down. Okay, so now you have 5 loops. I have 5 different ribbons, and it doesn't matter if you repeat, you could just make these loops out of any style that you want. But we're going to take a chenille stem and wrap around those loops right where you gathered it, pull it to the back. You want to twist it, get it as tight as you can. So now you have your bow with your tails hanging down, your loops at the top. So what we want to do now is spread that chenille stem out on the back, and you want to bring 5 of those tails to the back facing up. So just pick out a ribbon, bring it to the back. You want all your ribbons facing up. So you have a ribbon to the front, a tail to the back of each one. Tail to the back, a tail to the front. Okay, so just count your tails when you're done. I've got 1, 2, whoop, I missed my candy corn ribbon. So bring it to the back. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 tails on the front and 5 tails on the back. Now, you want to pull those up snug, and we're going to take that chenille stem and just go around those ribbons. You want to make it as close to the previous knot or previous wrap that you can, very snug, and then twist that again. Now it's not too pretty, but it's not going to show. So now you have a chenille stem that you're going to attach your bow with, and you've got 5 loops in the middle, 5 tails in the back, 5 tails in the front. So you can just spread them out now. You may want to lay them down where you can spread them out. Okay. And now you're ready to attach your bow to your ribbon frame. And I'm going to put like 2 on each side. Kind of one above the pumpkin and one kind of below the pumpkin on each side. You're just going to work your fingers down and get it down to the work ribbon frame. Just put your chenille, you might have to put your fingers in from the underneath side. Put your chenille stems around the metal part and just give it a twist. Okay? And there we go. That's an easy way to make a bow, and it's a really easy way to use up your scrap ribbons. I'm going to make 4 of those. There's our centerpiece after we added the 4 little clusters of the loop bows. Next, you still have ribbon left, so if you'd like to make some ribbon strips and just add in to these other twists, you can. You just cut your ribbon pieces about 13 inches and chevron the ends. pinch them in the center and just undo a twist. It's very important that you undo your twist and go all the way down to the top of your mesh to attach your ribbon strips. And then you can secure your ribbon strip back, secure the twist back with 3 or 4 twists. We'll add in a few and I'll show you. To do ribbon strips, I just cut the ribbon in 13-inch pieces and fold the edges together. We're going to chevron those ends, fold it again lengthwise, cut across the folded edge, and then you have your ribbon chevron. We'll do that to our ribbon strips. To do your ribbon strip, you can cluster your ribbons together in any sort of variety that you like, but I do always like to take a narrow ribbon and put it on top of a wider ribbon if I'm using different widths of ribbons. But just lay the ribbons down, pinch it in the center, and it's very important that you undo a twist, take it all the way down to the mesh, lay the ribbon strip down, and then now you can twist it and give it 3 or 4 turns since you're finished with it. And this just, of course, fluff out the ends of your ribbons. And you can fluff your ribbons, when you're done. But we're going to go around the ribbon rail now and just put in an assorted variety of ribbon strips in each twist. The last thing you want to do is just fluff out your ribbons, make sure they're not mashed down or anything. And of course, you can always shape the arms. If you had a little, I don't know, gourd or something like that you wanted to put out in front of the arms here, you could do that. And then always check the bottom of the wreath. We've used some chenille stems and the wires and all, and you want to make sure that you don't have any sharp edges that might scratch your tabletop. And just to be on the safe side, you still might want to lay it down on a table runner or something like that, because the work wreath frames can have sharp edges. Okay? It measures about 30 to 34 inches in length, and it's about, let's see, (18 to 19 inches in width. Of course, you can angle the Scarecrow's face, to the side like this instead of, forward. And also, if you wanted to, you could use like a big orange bow for the pumpkin butt or something like that. Okay? Well, that's our little Scarecrow. We've got him finished up now. Thanks for dropping in. We appreciate you watching our videos, and we hope you'll share our videos with your friends. And be sure to subscribe to our channel. There's a little icon at the bottom of your screen, and just subscribe to our channel so you won't miss our next tutorial coming out. Be sure and visit us at Trendy, where we've got thousands of different kinds of styles of mesh, ribbons, wreath making supplies, and embellishments. Okay? Thanks for dropping in. We'll see you next time. Bye.